Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Lakes Comics. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. After all, I am sitting here recording and playing with comic books. Who can't enjoy that? Before I get going on today's topic, I want to say, as always, big hello to some of the people who have been very good to the channel. Belizard has been commenting a lot on my channel lately, and I want to say I appreciate that. That shows that he's watching. I want to say thank you, as always, to people like Son of Crom, who are out there promoting the comic book the community. He's one of the best. If you're not watching his once a month claim sales, where the cost is shipping, you need to be, because he's been giving away some great books on that. I've had a few of them, including there may be one or two in this video coming up. Maybe. But I also would like to say thank you to the immortal Biggie Shack. Biggie, I hope everybody has caught him by now. Biggie is one of the biggest boosters of the comic book community out there. He was very nice to me when I got started. I enjoy his company very much when I'm on with him or he's on with me. And I do tend to watch his videos almost daily. And if you're not watching the immortal Biggie Shack, you should. All right. With further, let us move on. Move on. Dream sequence. No, anyway. I don't know what goes in my head sometimes. I'm losing it, I think. This is another one of my daughter picks a random box and then I grab some books out of it. Well, I will start with a quote from the comics that I will be covering today. In the savage world of Skartaris, life is a constant struggle for survival. Here beneath the unblinking orb of eternal sunlight, one simple law prevails. If you let your guard down for an instant, you will soon be very dead. That is in every issue of the following series that I've taken 10 books from, and I'm going to quickly review. And that series is Warlord. Warlord by one of my favorite comic people, Mike Grell. For those that don't know, and I'll probably try to find it and tag it in the description, I've already done a video where I did a good chunk of Mike Grell's career. In this case, I may have even shown one or two of these books at the time. But in this case, my daughter picked a box that had my Warlord comics in it. So when I went boom and pulled, it was a Warlord comic. Warlord's first appearance, for those that don't know, was DC's first issue special series from the 1970s, issue number 8, and he was created by Mike Grell. A bit of background on Warlord is that Warlord is Travis Morgan, who was a Vietnam vet who was a pilot who accidentally passed through a hole at in the Earth's crust while flying over the North Pole in 1969, and he discovered the underground world of Skartaris. Only armed originally with his .44 Magnum and joined by the princess, later Queen Tara, he becomes the Warlord and fights enemies like other kings and the sorcerer Demios. He gains allies such as Mashita, Shakira, scientist Maria Romanova, and has his own magic-wielding daughter by the name of Jennifer Morgan. The character is considered to be a Mike Grell self-insert at times, because if you look what Mike Grell looked like in the 1970s when he created this, Travis Morgan and him look a lot alike, which amazingly also looks a lot like Oliver Queen. The people of Skartaris are considered to be the remnants of Atlantis, when Atlantis fell. There were 4 volumes, of which 2 were miniseries, and the fourth was a very short one of the Warlord. What the books I grabbed today are from Volume 1, which ran from 1976 to 19, I want to say 88 or 89. I didn't quite write that down, but it ran for a while. It got to 113 issues, I think. And let me see if I wrote it down on my pages. Yeah, I didn't write that down, so I'll put in the actual number of issues later. It'll be in the notes to the video. So, issue 40 is the first one that I'm going to show. And in this particular book, Travis Morgan and Shakira meet Ashiri again, who is now installed as ruler of the realm. This ruler is in danger of assassination and is also about to marry Tara. I want to point out that most of the Warlord books are half stories, in the sense that they got 2/3 of the book and there's usually an 8-page backing story. Some of them are complete, some are not. That one I believe is complete because it doesn't have any. Usually the ones that have extras have as you'll see, have it advertised on the cover. The next book, issue 47, I have autographed. It's a really cool cover. I picked this one because of the moon, and it gave a good spot for Mike to sign. This one was called, oh, by the way, number 40 here was written and penciled by Mike Grell, inked by Vince Colletta, and it was December 1980. This is Warlord 47, Hunter's Moon, written by Grell, pencils by Grell, inks by Bob Smith, and this is July 1981. After glimpsing Skartaris' rarely seen moon, Travis Morgan encounters... Oh my god. Alright. Another person from the surface by the name of Mikhail Rostov, who demands to know what has become of Maria Romanova. And Rostov is a werewolf. And there it is there. That is the first appearance of Mikhail Rostov, who ends up becoming a big-time ally to Travis over the course of the next few years in the book. The next one I have is from October 1981. This is called By Fire and Ice, is the story. It is written and pencils by Mike Grell and inked by Bob Smith. The sorcerer Demos has his body restored by the Evil One, who is the equivalent to Satan in this world, but loses his powers and uses a comatose Jennifer Morgan as bait to try and entrap the Warlord. This is one of my favorite covers on the next one. This is the very next issue, issue 51. I think that is an absolutely beautifully drawn cover by Mike Grell. This one is called This Savage World, and Grell did the entire book. In November 1981, he did arts, writing, pencils, inks. This is a reprint book of Warlord number 1. Making his way across Skartaris, Morgan and Tara are captured by slavers, which is exactly what happened in Warlord 1. It is the only reprint at this time, because here is issue 52, called Back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, Travis. This is written by both Mike Grell and Sharon Wright. Sharon Wright was his wife at the time. And the pencils are done by Mike Grell. And the inks were done by Rodin Rodriguez. This is December 1981. Travis Morgan emerges from Skartaris in Russia and is then attacked by a MiG. I know, sounds very simple. This is one of the ones, by the way, I was talking about. This begins the saga of Dragon Sword in the second part of the book. Look at that cover, though. I have to say, whenever I see Travis Morgan's helmet, I think of my elvish, high elf Warhammer army, because a lot of those guys had that type of thing back in the day when I was playing Warhammer. Another great cover here. Issue 54, Sorceress Supreme. Written by Sharon Wright and Mike Grell. Pencils were actually done by Mark Texiera, and inks were done by Mike DiCarlo, which is a name we've all heard before. However, Mike Grell did the cover, and it looks pretty cool. This is February 1982. Sorry, oh my god, just hang on half a second here. Let me pull my glasses out. Okay. I can't quite read the name, but I think it's Ashigan. I could be wrong. Assumes the form of Rachel Morgan to trap Warlord, and only his daughter Jennifer can save him. I don't know who Rachel Morgan is. I guess it's in one of the books I don't have. But unless it's a wifey he took. Again, I don't have the whole series. I'm working towards getting the whole series, so I'm not 100% sure of everything here, and I will admit that. But these books kick ass. The next one I've got is Warlord 62. Another awesome Mike Grell cover. This one is called Cry Wolf, as you can see by the cover. This is October 1982, and Travis must find the wolf pack being led by his old buddy Rostov, the werewolf. It's too bad that Mikov has had such a hard life because he's come here as a werewolf, because it would suck to be the curse. I know that Mikov ends up dying at some point. Again, spoiler alerts for 40-year-old comics. But it does sadden me, because I liked that character. I have picked up other issues of Warlord, but they haven't been filed yet, and that's why, so I've read some of the ones in between here and there. I think I've read from 59 to 65. Anyway, actually, and 66, because I see it coming up. This is issue 64. Another great cover. Although this one doesn't have Grell's signature on it, so I'm not sure. Oh yeah, there it is at the bottom. This is a Mike Grell cover, which I'm happy about. 64. This is called Elsewhen. Written by Mike Grell and Sharon Wright. Pencils by Dan Jurgens. By the way, Dan Jurgens' first book, and it's one of the ones I've got in the piles here, but I couldn't find it for the video, is Warlord 63. That's his first. This is his first comics work. And the inks are by Wayne Howard, and I just realized I didn't mention the ones on this one. The credits. This is Mike Grell and Sharon Wright writing. Dan oh my God, I don't. Does it say on there? No. Dan de Erzergen, I think. Dan de Erzgem. Inks are by Tom Mandrink. Yes, this video is full of little slip-ups and mistakes, but again, still a lot of fun. Number 64. Elsewhen, as I said. This is Dan Jurgens' second book, where he did pencils, and Wayne Howard did inks. Mikota and Shakira are sent to the era of the Wizard Kings, where they fight a dragon and meet a helpful centaur. Now, the werewolf isn't dead yet. He's one of the ones sent to the past. Rostov, as I said, is one of the best characters in the book. So here's issue 66. Not quite 666, but it still has a devil on it. This is called Wizard War, written by Grell, pencils by Dan Jurgens, and inks by Mike DiCarlo. Again, Mike Grell cover. Pretty awesome looking, eh? The Warlord is reunited with his old friend and a couple of new ones as they are confronted by the evil one in the time of the Wizard Kings. So that again is another one. This is a continuation of the story. I believe this is the conclusion of them in the past. And the last one that I grabbed from my daughter's picks is issue 95. As you can see, I've got a big gap there. That was February 83, by the way, the last 66. This is July 1985. This is Dragon Doom. Writer Grell is no longer on the book. Okay? The writer is Kerry Burkett. The pencils are Adam Kubert, and the inks are Ian Atkin. Brian Garvey, okay, Rich Buckler did the cover. The Warlord and his friends save a princess, but in order to gain the alliance of her father, they must destroy a ravaging sea dragon. Fun looking book. Fun book. I gave it a quick reread because I didn't remember this book as well as I remembered the other ones, and it's an interesting one. So, if you've made it this far, if my mistakes haven't chased you off, please like, comment, and subscribe below. I particularly want to know if you're a Mike Grell fan, if you're a Warlord fan, and if so, what was your favorite book? What do you like about it? Mike Grell, one of the most awesome comic collectors, creators out there. Not only has he done a lot of good work, but he's a very nice gentleman when you meet him with the fans. I had the pleasure of being able to meet him 3 times. Here, all in Ottawa. And I've had him sign about 5 or 6 different things over the years. But more importantly, twice when I went to see him, no one else was there. So I got to have 10, 15-minute conversations with him each time. And I got to learn a lot about what his technique is and what he, what he was thinking when he was writing things, why he came up with the certain uniforms for the Legion in the 70s, because I was a big fan, that kind of stuff. He's the one that him and Dave Cockrum created. Between the two of them, they did each about half of the new 70s outfits. So I can't remember. I won't say which is the Cockrum and which one is the Grell without seeing them in the books themselves. Thank you very much for taking the time to join me today. I hope you enjoyed this. My name is Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Thanks, everybody.